In fact, I'm wearing a sweater I got in Norway. We'll have to see whether this works. We're going to be recording a thing with Maria Wheatley, and she's got a book on women who have been written out of history. And that interests me. So we're going to do a whole series on that. And
that would be interesting for sure.
There are some very, very big things which have happened in history, and they've been done by women. But you don't know that because they've been literally written out of history.
That is going to be really interesting to see who wrote them out.
Well, it's all in this couple of books, and we're going to talk about it. And so this TV is going to be part of the set.
When you go to Egypt, are you allowed to take pictures of what are they, pictographs on the walls? Are you allowed to take pictures of those?
I don't know. I've never been there except when I was a pharaoh.
I was a priestess, but I don't know. I think it was Atlantis.
I'm sure you would have been a priestess and a damn good one as well. And certainly I wouldn't have argued with you about anything.
Do you know what? I was a priestess, but I was pretty cool. I didn't have a revenge streak in me or anything like that, right? I was in a cathedral. I could see the cathedrals and the crystals and the cape and the whether it's velvet or what have you. But it's interesting because I think some of those abilities are starting to come back on, and I think that's what a lot of this push is about right now.
Very much so. Very much so.
Not for us not to wake up, right? So.
Well, there's another lady who keeps herself in the background. She's another Karen with a K. And she was actually murdered while she was a bishop at Wells Cathedral. And she's the only woman's face in, there's a certain part of Wells Cathedral, which is very ornate. And it's got all these carved bishops' faces in them. And she's in that, and she was murdered by the application of a knife, very crudely and desperately, on the steps of I think it's called it's the something or other house, cloister house or something, Wells Cathedral.
So my question still is it the men or the women killing the women?
Well, we do have another subject on that, and it's ruined my ruined. I am ruined. I can never play another Blondie record again. And on that particular subject, there's a guy called Mark Delvin does an awful lot of stuff on all that. But shall we say the Americans may have a president who's had that kind of background without saying too much? Or did we want to say anything too much?
Do you know, so we don't know what's going on there, and I don't profess to know what's going on there, but something is going on. You can feel it energetically. You can feel, and it's more than what they're talking about the south border and everything there, but something is going on. And I have a feeling we are all being watched on one level or another.
A lot of levels. And for the sake of this, we're now talking January, the 31st of January, 2024. Happy New Year to Sandy.
Yes,
how are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Politics. Well, I've been back to Norway. They had a meter of snow in about 4 or 5 hours. And when a Norwegian says, Miles, go out and take your camera and make a video of this, there they can see this is not normal. I mean, they're used to snow, like North Canadians. I mean, but not this kind of snow.
I think a lot of it is just manufactured. From what I'm hearing, we have had 30 some odd point something hours of sunlight since the 1st of January. So it's overcast, but it's not an overcast like a cloudy day. It's like there's a film, or we've been terraformed or sprayed or what have you. And so they can do whatever they want, wherever they want. Somebody else was saying that they were putting a match or a torch to the snow and it was all turning black. So who knows?
Well, definitely there's something. I walked out with the snow and all the rest of it. And then I came back and there's this white stuff on my boots. And definitely something is happening. I got an email about a certain scientific advisor in the Biden administration has been allegedly hung today in Gitmo.
There's definitely something going on.
That's just come out from JAG. Now, again, whether any of this is real, I don't know.
I know. That's why I don't focus on it so much. We can't prove it. And no matter what, we still have work to do on the ground to bring in the changes we want to see. So, and I appreciate the people who do pay attention to that, because when I meet up with them, they can share with me what they found, and I can share what I'm finding in more on the local level, right? So it's, you know, I do think something good is happening. I don't think anybody would have signed on for this crap show if they did not think for a minute that they were going to win. If they thought they were going to lose, nobody would have signed up for this. They would have just said, let's just have fun and get on with it.
And
so I do believe that that there was a plan. And I believe that part of it is God, part of it is human, part of it is celestial, part of it is planetary.
Well,
so
I actually think source is compromised. That's my big step. I think everybody's sort of blaming source or expecting source or God or whatever it is. I think he's got trouble, or it's got trouble.
I think people are misunderstanding what the connection is. We are made in the image of God. We are the consciousness, that energy. So when people are looking for the guy in the white robes and the big white beard, they're outsourcing, and they're turning to an expert again, instead of knowing that we are created in the image of God. We have what it takes to turn on our unique internal Wi-Fi, our internal energy systems, our ability to move our minds. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, Sabrina, with you, because she said we should be able at some point to look at our coffee pot and turn it on with our minds. We're Mickey Mousing around.
Yes, you're totally, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what I think we need to be doing, is going inside, and people are waking up. But at the same time, this is why I wanted to pick your brain today, Miles. And it's okay that you haven't seen this video, because we can do this on another time. But this is what I think we're meant to do, is go inside and be able to connect our systems. But what's happening as we're growing and we're starting to awaken, the AI is also trying to keep pace with us. So many people have said they're thinking.
I was going to stop you there. You've said exactly it in one. We are the AI can only conclude that we are superior. We just may not be able to make mathematical calculations as fast, but we have got the power, and all those limitations are now off.
If we choose.
We have got it. We can do it. So collectively,
if we choose.
Yes, and we must do that. That's what we must do. We have the ability to do it without malice and all that stuff.
Yes, without malice, but at the same time, people still have the next layers of programming to release. And I'll give the example. It doesn't matter if it's a societal program, a cultural, a religious program, if it's an academic program, if it's a field of interest or a field of study. You know, if you are so attached to what you think that program is, you're not going to be open for the changes. And if you're not open for changes, nothing's going to change. An example that can come up is I was talking about the chakra system to a group of women, and I was talking about how the LBGT flag was inverted and things like that. Well, they couldn't handle the conversation. And I started thinking, why? But it's the same as religions. Certain religions won't let you talk about astrology. But if you're not open to that, and you're not open to color therapy, if you're not open to sound therapy, how are you going to make the changes for the new technologies that are coming in, like the benevolent technologies, the ones that are attuned to the proper frequencies, the natural frequencies, right? And I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking, how difficult is it to make the connection that some of those beautiful churches and cathedrals of the past, the organs were a healing instrument with playing the music, the bells were a healing instrument. So the churches, I think, were originally set to help people heal. And my understanding from what I've been able to find out, after World War II, they smashed all the bells in the churches so people wouldn't have that natural sound resonating through the land.
I didn't hear that. I mean, when did that? That's amazing. What happened? I didn't hear that they smashed.
It's just when they went in and started destroying cities and what have you, they just made sure the bells were part of it. So, now, who knows? That's pictures. Is that because
they could alert people to? I mean, one of the reasons for the bells, if they were ringing, attack is imminent, that kind of thing.
And that would be part of it too. But my understanding is it's also used for healing. So maybe it had dual purposes, right? And that's a really good point that you're making. But the idea is you can still look within the confines of what you call your faith, if you have to look at it through the context of a religion, and still find good things in there that can resonate with what we need to do going forward. And I'm not suggesting anybody give up their faith, but you don't have to, you can't shut something else down because your faith won't let you think about it, because what we're looking at is what we call the darkness. They know all these tricks. They know about the astrology. They know what different events are happening and how to fuel the energy. They know how to do it. So if they can do it for bad, why can't we do it for good? That's kind of where I'm going with that.
Absolutely.
Right. So can we talk about one of our favorite topics?
Now, what would
Canada.
that be?